It's What's Up Wednesday? What's up, nerds? It's your boy coming to you live at about 11 o'clock here on a lovely spring morning here from Site B, June 21st, the longest day of the year. It is the solstice here, and it's time to take a look at this week's Critical Role news. This is a new little chunk I've been doing here, talking about our friends over at Critical Role. And especially since the announcement of Illuminated World / Candela Obscura and Daggerheart, there's been so much to unpack coming out of that little announcement, especially with when Candela Obscura went live, that I've had to dedicate at least 10 minutes every week to it. And at least the first part of that 10 minutes of every week that I've dedicated to this topic is to remind everybody once again that Matt Mercer did not write or create or have anything to do with Candela Obscura. If you don't believe me, the information is right there on the Candela Obscura page, linked down below. You can see the list of writers and creators. That's not to say he didn't have anything to do with it. He obviously helped playtest the system. He ran the first adventure. He was probably somewhere in the building when they were designing the game, Towson and those other guys. He may have popped his head in and somebody may have asked him a question and he went, oh yeah, no, I think that should be that maybe. But no, other than that, just because Matt is in the same building or connected to Darrington Press doesn't mean he has created everything that Darrington Press has made. There's plenty of things that have come out of Darrington Press that Matt had very little to do or nothing to do with. So to continue to say Matt Mercer's Candela Obscura, you're basically blaming Matt Mercer if it fails. The fact that you don't like it, you're blaming Matt Mercer, and it's just clout chasing by going after Mercer because he's the most recognizable name associated with this. But we've had a very quiet week, other than a few minor disturbances in the force of the same people who have been saying the same shit about this since day one, at which point it's not worth listening to you anymore because you haven't said anything new. Candela Obscura is going to destroy D&D. Candela Obscura is stealing from Blades in the Dark. Matt Mercer created Candela Obscura, and therefore it's awful because it's not Critical Role. Well, you know, the first time you said it, we were like, hey, no. The second time you said it, we're like, hey, no. The third time you said it, we're like, you know what? I'm done having this argument with you. And by now, the fourth or fifth time in a row where you're just saying the exact same things, nobody cares. So do we have any actual news regarding the first episode of Candela Obscura and the inevitable what the F is Dagger to the Heart? No, we don't. It's been a pretty quiet week. So let's look at how well it is doing. Here's the Twitch page. As of today, let's see. Does it say views on Twitch? I know it says views on, oh yeah, here we go. 378,472 views. That's okay, I guess. I mean, I don't know. How much is Critical Role episode? 276,428. Oh, wow. That's I mean, it's still a lot. That's more views than I get, but it's not as much as I thought they got. I always assumed they got like a couple million views. Do they get more views or less views on YouTube? I've never checked before. Because, you know, for a long time, I invented a lot of negative energy in Critical Role. And I still don't have really nice things to say about the Critical Role fan base and, you know, what Critical Role did for the gaming community. That said, I am 100% behind them with Illuminated Worlds and Dagger to the Heart. So if I'm a hypocrite and going against all those years I talk crap about them, well, that doesn't change. I still think Critical Role is the best / worst thing to happen to 5th edition. And my opinion of Critical Role fans, still not very great. But that could change because the Critical Role fan base is changing with only 276,428 views for a CR episode. That doesn't feel like that's a lot. Let's see how well it did on Amazon. I mean, not Amazon, YouTube. God, you can tell it's caffeine time. YouTube episode 1 did. Do we have number of views? Episode 1? Episode 1 did 639. 639 plus 300 is 900. So between YouTube and Twitch, a million. About bad math, 1 million. It did 1 million views. It's been on for over a week, going into week number 2. Are they doing this every other week? I know that we're talking about an extended releases for stuff going forward. I know because let's face it, the guys need a break. I mean, God, guys, take a break. Take a year off. Do yourself a favor before Dagger Than a Heart comes out in Gen Con. Take a month off. Take July off and just, travel. Do voiceovers, drink some Mai Tais, because when August comes and you say whatever it is Dagger the Heart is going to be, it is going to be polarizing no matter what. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Candela Obscura. As of today, roughly 1 million views. Is that good? Is that bad? Were we expecting more? No, not really. Candela Obscura is an experiment. Okay, no matter what the future of Candela Obscura is, whatever the future of Illuminated Worlds is, hopefully we do more stuff with Illuminated Worlds. All the other little sub games they've done over the years could all be converted to Illuminated Worlds settings, including Honey Heist, the one-shot Zelda thing, which was official and approved of by Nintendo because Matt is voicing one of the main characters in Zelda. That could happen again. They could return that, and they could use Illuminated Worlds as the system. They previously used Powered by the Apocalypse. I don't know why they chose Powered by the Apocalypse over any other D6 system or Illuminated Worlds other than the Nintendo people. And Matt felt that for that one scenario, the modified Powered by the Apocalypse rule set they used best fit Zelda as opposed to Illuminated Worlds. More likely, Illuminated Worlds wasn't ready yet when they filmed it, and they didn't want people to know too much about Illuminated Worlds until Candela Obscura went live. Even though we saw the Zelda thing after we heard about Candela Obscura, my best guess is they wanted to keep the two separate because they didn't know how well the Zelda thing was going to do, and if and when Nintendo says, yes, we give you our permission to do it in an official role-playing game, then they could do it under Illuminated Worlds in the future. Though what a nice shot in the arm for Powered by the Apocalypse to see the Zelda thing. I wonder if Powered by the Apocalypse sales and searches went up because of the Zelda thing. There's probably a way to look that up. As for how well Candela Obscura is doing sales-wise, there's no way to check that. It doesn't say on the Darrington Press site, so I wouldn't know how to check that. I mean, if they're doing it through Diamond or Axis, you could check sales, but since they're publishing it through Darrington, they're not making that information public yet. I'm sure they will, probably by the end of this month, I would assume, or definitely by the end of Gen Con, they'd let us know how Candela Obscura sales are going. And then once the official actual Illuminated Worlds rulebook is out, I will pick it up and I will review it. I didn't review the Candela Obscura rules other than a brief cursory glance because they were specific to that setting. They weren't, and I was like, well, okay, if you're making a generic world setting, then I'm going to review the generic world setting. I'm not going to review the specific setting. This is releasing GURPS Horse Clans before releasing GURPS. I understand why you're doing it, instead of doing it in a reverse way, which most every other company does it. But you already had the fan base and you had already established that you've been doing horror, Call of Cthulhu type stuff. So this was easy to just translate what you've already done and just continue it in the Candela Obscura setting. Plus, you already had the uniforms. So, yeah. No idea in the sales. Views? Actually more. 1 million total by today. It's actually more than I expected, considering, it's more of an obscure subject than, say, what they normally do. I didn't know. I actually thought Critical Role views were higher than 200,000. Maybe they were in the past. I mean, let's face it, Critical Role is definitely not as big as it was a year ago because we're not stuck at home. And I know I have said less than nice things about Critical Role and its staff and its creators in the past. And of course, I'm sorry about that. I know I upset a lot of people, and I know I was trying to be very polarizing, and I was trying to clout chase and expressing my frustration and anger at my personal experience with Critical Role fans. as a way to attack Critical Role. That said, I still think it's one of the best / worst things to happen to 5e. And 5e wouldn't be what it is without Critical Role. So let's face it, Wizards, you owe them a huge debt of thanks. They, on the other hand, don't owe you anything. Is Dagger to the Heart going to be the official divorce papers for them leaving Wizards behind? I'm sorry, guys. There's no reason for them to stay with Wizards. They're financially, creatively, the way the industry works, the way control of IP works, which is something they would understand because they are studio people, way more than most of us will understand. There is no reason for them to stay, especially since the Amazon deal was signed. There's nothing Hasbro could offer them that they can't get now through their own production company or through Amazon. The only thing Hasbro could offer is the toys. If they made official Critical Role action figures. Have they made Critical Role action figures? I want to say no, but Critical Role action figures. They've made says Critical Role Legends of Vox Machina. Figures. Here we go. They did. How come I never heard of these? Critical Role reaction figure for $20. That means it doesn't move. Mighty Nine reaction figure, Veth Bento, Jester. It has at least 2 points of articulation. That's it. Oh, 3 points of articulation. Okay, so they've got 3 points of articulation. Quality-wise, does not look great. Obviously not made by Hasbro. It says McFarlane, but this doesn't look like McFarlane level of quality. They are age 14 and up. That's an unusual age range for figures. Usually you want to go like 10 and up. Especially with only 3 points of articulation. Well, I didn't even know there were figures. So I learned something new. I would never probably get them, but it looks like Darrington Press made them. It says McFarlane or some subsidiary McFarlane, but the quality doesn't look McFarlane level. But you know, a low level production quality, average action figure quality. Let's see if they work. Then we can go for deluxe action figures a year from now. Plus, I'm sure there's hundreds that have been made on Etsy, right? That are as good or better than these guys. So, or better than anything Hasbro would mass produce. So, yeah, I guess toys, Hasbro can't offer them toys either. Is there a Critical Role Lego set? Well, Hasbro doesn't own Lego, despite what other people would say. Otherwise, no. So that would be a completely separate deal. Amazon is probably still the best deal for them because it allows them access to the Amazon publishing engine, which allows Darrington Press stuff to get out to a wider audience. So again, yeah, sorry guys, I don't see any reason for them to stay with Wizards unless Dagger to the Heart utterly flops and Matt still wants to do fantasy RPG things. Then he'll be like, yeah, we'll do more stuff with 5e. Or he could just say, you know what, we're going back to Pathfinder because that's where we started. I've wasted way too much time talking about what should have been a simple 5-minute post about where we stand numbers-wise, but I had to see if there actually were action figures. And what do you know? There are. So if you want to ever check out the Critical Role action figures, which I didn't know existed until just now, go over to the Darrington Press website and check them out. Also, again, there's probably thousands of Critical Role stuff on Etsy. So I just don't pay attention. Till recently. But I'm trying to change that. I am trying to change. I'm trying to learn from my mistakes and get better at this because that's the only way I can get more subs and bring you the news that you want without sounding like an idiot. Well, actually, I am an idiot, so I can't change. And I'm just going to stop while I'm ahead. Yeah! See? Head, because it's just a floating head. And I made a joke. I'm done. Talk to you later. Have a great day. Stay safe. Stay warm. Enjoy the sunshine while you can. We'll see each other soon. Now get off my land.